This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the one who's going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Aaron Kirkwood, Andre the Man in White, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, Rikky Morrisette, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, and Eddie Costello. And we'd also like to welcome Philip to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. So thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, really appreciate it. And before we get into this episode, this is a spoiler warning for anybody who is listening to these new spring chapters. We are going to be covering material up to Book 5, Fires of Heaven, of the Wheel of Time series. So if you haven't read up to Book 5 and you're just picking up New Spring now, don't listen to this episode if you don't want to be spoiled. Because in this episode, we're talking about chapters 7 through 10 of New Spring. This is the most amount of chapters we've ever done.
I was going to say, I don't even know if we've done like 3 before this book, but... Yeah, 4 breaks the record, so here we go.
It absolutely does.
Okay, ready for this? Chapter 7 is The Itch. Chapter 8 is Shreds of Serenity. Chapter 9 is It Begins. And Chapter 10 is It Finishes.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's so good.
It's so good. We get to see so much information here, so much stuff happens. It's great.
But oh my goodness, shorter chapters than we've seen since Eye of the World, I want to say. So even though we're covering 4 chapters, it's actually less pages than the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's is what it is.
Yeah. But we have a couple things to talk about before that. And
yes, we do.
Yeah, one super exciting thing, one less exciting thing that I want to do just a correction or clarification for my stance. And I had a bit of a conversation in Discord today about it, but I just want to make sure people who are listening and don't participate in Discord know where I'm coming from for this. So, in the first episode with all the land stuff and the Aiel, it was like a crazy kind of situation going on. So what I was talking about for potentials as to why they weren't attacking land, that's not canon. I wasn't like, this is why they're not attacking land. I was kind of bringing up points of what we can think about how the wise ones are pretty sneaky and they don't let on to everything that they know is going on. So there's potential for some behind the scenes shenanigans going on there. So none of what I said is canon. That's just, it was me rambling and ranting about stuff that's exciting.
It's a good theory, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, it's stuff to look for, especially moving forward. But anyways, that's not the most exciting thing I want to talk about. We got a super cool, awesome, amazing, spectacular gift.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. It was a few awesome shot glasses, which I've poured shots. We're going to take shots.
Yeah, we have to take shots for this gift.
And I need a drum roll. I need more build up to this because it's not cool enough.
I know. Well, I have to tell you, this person who sent us this gift would like to remain nameless, would like to be anonymous, which is totally cool, but I cannot believe
you know who you are, and I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
We need more build up. I don't know. They sent a lovely note, and the reason why it's such a cool gift is because this is something that they picked up when they went to a local bookstore that was attended by one James Oliver Rigney Jr.
in 1997.
1997. So a long, long time ago.
Yeah. And
what they sent us is it's like a second or third edition copy, hardcover copy of The Dragon Reborn that is in fact signed by Robert Jordan.
Amazing.
It is so cool.
It's incredible.
You have to put the pictures on the things.
I'll put the pictures on the things.
So people can see it.
I'll 100% do that because I feel like when we first started, we used to get a lot of Q&As for you specifically about if you've ever met Robert Jordan.
Yes.
Because there's lots of people who were huge fans of his back in the day who got to meet him all over the place.
And they weren't necessarily children at that point either.
No, but also turns out he didn't come to a lot of places in Canada.
Yeah.
And you living in
Winnipeg didn't help.
You didn't get the opportunity.
Yes.
And so it's been made pretty clear that we don't have anything from Robert Jordan. And so this is...
Now we do.
Amazing.
It is so cool. So thank you so much.
I have never given Brett a gift as good as this. I've actually... Here's a little bit of information. I have looked at purchasing a book with Robert Jordan's signature in it for you for occasions.
But millions of dollars,
I
probably.
can't,
So, like...
Yeah, it never really pans out, and I just kept thinking that the right opportunity will come along, and I'll find something spectacular for you. But someone just went ahead and, from their personal collection, sent this to us.
Yeah, it's so cool. I need to, like, encase it in glass and then never touch it so I don't ruin the book.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to put it down.
It's in excellent shape. I'm actually very impressed.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it away up high somewhere where the children will never be able to touch it.
With their grubby
hands. And I can't touch it with my grubby hands.
Your grubby hands.
But yeah, it's very, very cool. I can't wait for people to see this too. So thank you.
Thank you. Also, shots for this momentous occasion.
Okay, so I picked 2. They sent 4 shot glasses, so I picked 2 of them. And yours is...
How can I be so thirsty this morning when I drank so much last night?
Hilarious.
That's good, except I do have a critique.
Oh.
I'm not drinking shots in the morning.
No, it's like you drank a lot last night.
I know, but it's on the shot glass.
Yeah, no,
like, when you look at it, I'm like, unless you're drinking shots of, like, Gatorade.
That's true. Okay, I need clarification on this one, and I know you looked it up and you were laughing so hard.
Oh my god.
So I have a Cincinnati Bearcats shot glass.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool, but I don't know what a Bearcat is.
Okay, so we haven't gotten into your fun fact yet, but I have a Bearcats fun fact.
Oh my goodness, okay.
So the first Bearcats fun fact is the Cincinnati Bearcats football team is currently 2nd in the American Athletic Conference.
Hey, good for them. Okay.
They've won their past 2 games, and they play Notre Dame.
Americanize that.
I'm a sports person. I get it.
Yeah.
I know sports. So they're playing them on next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
But the last 2 games, they won.
Wow.
Yeah, so good for them.
Okay.
Go Bearcats.
Go Bearcats.
Now, what is a Bearcat, you might be asking me?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Okay, so an animal called a binturong is also known as a bearcat.
Okay.
It's native to South and Southeast Asia.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is uncommon in much of its range.
Okay. So it's not a very common animal where it lives.
No, declining population.
Well, this is getting sadder.
Yeah, but you have to see a picture of this animal.
Oh my goodness. There's some angry looking eyeballs on this shot glass, but like...
Oh, this animal is sad.
Oh no. Oh my god, I can't. That's so sad. He's sad because his numbers are dwindling.
If he smashed he almost looks like a koala, but like
a sad otter.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's hilarious, and I mean, like, go Bearcats. But that's the worst animal I've ever seen.
Oh man,
it's not great. It's hilarious.
It's great.
It's great. Funniest animal, hands down.
I love it. Okay. Cheers to the Bearcats, but more specifically to signed copies of books by Robert Jordan.
Right.
All right. Cheers.
You poured those ones. That was more full than I'm used to.
Well, it's also the beginning of our recording, so there's that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's kick us off.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You still have things to say. I was going to say, okay, let's go. No, you go.
Yeah, okay. So my fun fact is about our most favorite character in these chapters, and pretty relevant, and we got to discuss her, Alida.
Sure.
She plays a role here, and we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
But this is in regards to the penance and the punishments that we get later on. Mm-hmm. So the phrasing was mortification of the flesh. I had no idea what this was when I was reading it, so I was like, hey, that might be interesting to kind of figure out what's going on here.
Okay, yeah.
So if you're wondering, what is this? Mm-hmm. Here's what it is. It's an act by which a person seeks to mortify or put to death their sinful nature. So mortification of the flesh is not just specific to Christianity, but it's most common there. So in Christianity, common forms of mortification that are practiced include fasting, so that's mortification of the flesh, abstinence, pious kneeling, and also flagellation, which is the practice of whipping or beating yourself. So you're basically atoning for your sins.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense with RJ to include these types of penance with Aes Sedai because they're like a semi-quasi-religious group, so it kind of fits right in with the penance. So we can keep that in mind when we discuss why Elida is so not happy with what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so now we got 4 chapters to cover.
Yes.
But last time, we were talking about Moraine and Swan, who went out to some village to record 1 million baby names.
Yep.
And then we also found out with Moraine that her Uncle Lawman died.
Yes, that
her
happened.
King Uncle Lawman.
King Uncle and other uncles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Swan and Moraine wrote more baby names.
Yeah.
But they were inside instead of outside.
Yes. And then we got the whole thing at the very end of those chapters, which is really important, where the Aes Sedai are starting to like kind of plant seeds, not so subtly with Moraine, that she should probably try and take the throne of Cairhien.
Oh, right.
So she can be the first Aes Sedai ruler of a nation in like 1,000 years.
Yeah. And she does not want that.
Yes, much like who? Who do we also know that has a throne and doesn't want to take that?
Is it Rand and the Sun Throne?
Nope.
In
No, it's
book
not.
5?
Nope,
Oh.
it's a different series. They spend 3 movies, and then finally he takes the throne of Gondor. That's
Gondor,
right. It's
it's
Aragorn.
Gondor.
It's Aragorn.
Why did we just took a shot?
Yeah, I know, but that was also
Does
because
that shot count as...
this is from the same person who sent us the things, and they said, try and work that in. So I thought, hey,
Oh.
why not right at the beginning?
Cool, okay, so that shot counts for this
No,
reference?
it absolutely does not. No.
I don't want to do another one. Does that matter?
It doesn't matter. You
Right.
have to.
Well, I have to tell you, it's Friday night, and it's been a freaking long week, so sure, give me a shot. That's Aragorn, right?
Yes.
Aragorn takes the throne?
Yeah,
after
at the
3?
end.
Okay.
At the end, yeah. He gets there.
Okay, but Moraine, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is never going to get there.
Well,
So I don't really get your reference.
you know.
But anyway, I don't have to. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Here you go.
Other people get it, right?
Sure, probably. Now let me make another Aragorn ref. No, I'm just joking.
No. No more. Chapter 7, The Itch.
Yes.
The wheelie snake symbol. We enter in a Moraine perspective. It's another day of transcribing names for Moraine and Swan, indoors, not outdoors.
Yeah.
And we are getting that more and more names are meeting their criteria for being added to the quote list.
Yeah, and like the criteria is something to do with Dragonmount, obviously.
Inside of Dragonmount.
But on the flip side, they're also starting to understand that nobody's going to be like, oh, my son was born on the slopes of Dragonmount.
Slopes of Dragonmount.
Yeah, so it's going to get a lot more difficult.
Yes. Now, they get a visit at one point from the Amerlin seat, and she walks in right as Moraine is, like, transferring her...
Yeah.
Or the name to her little notebook.
Yeah, and then she tries to, like, hide it.
Which she probably doesn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this, like, one of those situations where Moraine totally saw Egwene smuggling
Egwene
Rand?
sneaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does she know?
How does she know? It's like, because you're not being subtle.
And they just, like, leave it because they don't care.
Well, it's also the same as when Swan is literally the Amerlin later on, and she's, like, doing her whole, like, I'm gonna have my hounds search out the Black Aja.
Yeah.
She knows what the girls are doing. She knows they're gonna talk to,
Yeah.
like, Elaine and all that stuff, so.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. So she comes in and she says, I thought you'd be bored by now because, you know, copying lines sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And Moraine says, well, it's helping me manage my thoughts.
Yeah.
Implying that she's still upset about her uncle.
Yeah.
Now, then Tamara hands Moraine a note and says, here, messenger, run.
Yeah. Go bring this. So they are probably still the only accepted in the tower. Like, there still isn't anybody, because all the other accepted are currently still out in the field.
Right. Out doing the stuff.
Yeah, and she can't, like, send a sister, you know, and all that, so it makes sense.
She could probably send a novice.
Possibly, yeah. But
Yeah.
also, like, super secret message. And maybe Tamara wants them to know what's up.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like everything an Aes Sedai does, especially 150-plus-year-old Amerlin,
I know, right?
knows the fuck what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like Swan has no clue what she's doing. She was a bad Amerlin.
Oh, interesting. She
Well,
kind of
like,
knew some stuff.
I have to say, just in comparison to
Sure.
somebody who's lived 150 years,
You don't have as much experience.
just we see the growth from Moraine at this point to 20 years later, and
Yeah.
it's substantial.
Yeah.
But imagine that times
5. Or,
5.
like, 6.
Yeah,
Or, like, 7.
right.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually even know how old she was
Yeah.
when she became an Aes Sedai, and then if she actually, because 150 sounded young
Yeah.
to become the Amerlin. So, yeah,
There's a lot of stuff there.
I'm sure she knows exactly what she's doing. And I don't doubt her at all.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, the note is for someone named Kareen Nagashi.
Yeah, Kareen. Sister Kareen.
Sister Kareen. So Moraine heads off to deliver the note, and we get a whole bunch of description
about
what's going on here. Moraine loves being able to deliver notes to the Ajas, like different sisters.
Yeah.
Because then we get to find out little bits of information about the Aja headquarters.
Yeah, and that kind of is in line with the whole itch thing where she just wants to know literally everything. So
oh no.
I mean, that's the whole thing about walking into the...
I have to tell you.
What?
I just thought of a reference.
Oh no. Okay.
It's Harry Potter.
Oh no. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Will be just a half shot.
Okay.
Little guy.
Okay.
For this is like a half reference.
A halfer.
Yeah. So all of the houses in Hogwarts have a different place they live in the castle.
Sure.
And they're all decorated differently.
Totally.
Same thing.
Oh, that's it?
That's the reference. That's why it's a half reference.
That's a halfer. Yeah, but that makes sense.
But
okay.
yeah, decorated for the colors of their house.
Yeah, they're like fighting people, so they got lots of swords and
the way you enter the
right through
rooms,
like through pictures or something.
No, that's only Gryffindor. There's like different ones for each one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh no, they're all pictures, but the way you get in is different. Like to get into Ravenclaw, you have to answer a riddle.
Oh my god.
Because Ravenclaws are clever.
I hate that so much.
Well, you're a Ravenclaw, so you should get over it.
No, I like riddles, but like every time. Come on.
Yeah, you would love it. You'd be like, this is so fun. I love being a Ravenclaw. And like to get into Hufflepuff, we all just have to like high five and tell each other how cool we are.
Yeah.
That's, be nice and friendly.
I'm surprised you haven't even asked me for a riddle.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a riddle for you.
Okay, we need to take a shot and move on with these chapters.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And just to round out our shot, the riddle for you is, what have I got in my pocket?
Nothing.
Come on! That's Lord of the Rings. All right, cheers.
Oh no! I don't know it! I watched it, but I didn't learn it.
Riddles in the dark? Come on.
Oh my gosh.
That's when Bilbo has the ring in his pocket.
I have to say, the riddle should be for you, because you're the Ravenclaw.
Okay.
I'm no Ravenclaw. I'm not answering riddles. Anyway, okay, back to this, though.
Yes.
So, we head to the Green Aja headquarters.
Yeah.
And there are swords everywhere and tapestries of battle scenes. And that's literally all you need to know.
Have you picked up on the fact that the Green Aja hasn't fought since the Trolloc Wars?
Yeah, but they're super into it, okay?
But it's like, go practice then. Go to the Blight. Have like all your Green Aja sisters out in the Blight all the time. We've been to the Blight in the Borderlands.
Yeah, it's scary.
And
there,
it's like
though.
not necessarily a very common occurrence where Green sisters are there. Like when Moraine and Lance show up.
I don't know if you've heard though.
Sure.
There aren't a lot of Aes Sedai to just be like sacrificing for practice.
You should practice before the last battle so you're good at it.
They're not.
Yeah, where are they practicing their fighting skills?
The room of requirement.
No! We can't. No. Why would you even say that?
That's where you practice.
I hate that so much. We're in the first chapter, like the first two pages
God, we
here.
haven't even started.
Okay, does that count?
Just have a drink.
Okay,
because I have a wine and you have a whiskey, so like
just straight whiskey too. So it's just basically whiskey.
That didn't even really count.
Okay. Anyways, we got to get through this, and also lots of dudes here.
Lots of dudes, but let's talk about one dude in particular.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh my god, this is like the most exciting thing. I know that Moraine like becomes an Aes Sedai, in the last two chapters, but this
is cool. Oh yeah, this
was
great.
The most exciting.
Yeah.
Now, as Moraine is walking through here, she notices that there's an Aes Sedai watching two warders face off with practice swords.
Yeah.
One of those warders is named Elias.
One is Elias. So it's Rena Hafton, and then two warders, one named Waylon, one named Elias. One is dark and clean-shaven, the other fair with a short beard.
Yeah. Now, you want to tell me that the name Elias...
Yeah, is common enough that it's like
is common
another
enough
warder?
That it's just like here. I don't even know if I knew that Elias ever was a warder.
You did know that.
I did? That
yes,
he
you
was
did.
One?
Yep. And then remember when he was escaping, he called a bunch of the Red Sisters Black Aja,
which they probably were.
And I asked you that, and you said no at the time.
Yeah.
But it's like he's got that.
Now that I know,
got a pretty good nose
for sure.
Right.
And he's also killed warders to get away.
He did.
Because I thought I only knew about the killing warders situation. I didn't realize I knew that he was a warder.
Yeah. And when we say was, we don't know that he is not currently still a warder.
He ran away. Well, he could still be bonded.
He could still be bonded as a warder. We don't know that that connection is, like, broken. We don't have any confirmation of that.
We have no confirmation. And let me just tell you, there were some people... So, our first New Spring episode came out today. And there were some people who were saying, I'm reading the books for the first time. I want to read New Spring in publication order, like you guys suggest.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
But they're worried if they pick up with our Lord of Chaos episodes, they're going to get spoiled for New Spring
stuff.
So even though I find out things like this about Elias, we're not going to talk about
We're going to keep it clean. We're going to do this as like a one-off, and we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to just like move on.
Yeah.
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 And then after we can put it
100%,
back in. So,
and like bonus episodes and Q&As and all of that. Absolutely, we'll talk about it. But when we move on,
regular episodes we can omit.
That's just something that's information for everyone who's just listening right now.
Yeah.
So in case you're ever listening to, in the future, book 6 episode,
we're not going to spoil stuff because that's kind of our deal.
And you're like, hey, you learned that in New Spring.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that, but we're not mentioning it because we don't want to spoil people who are listening to book 6 but haven't read New Spring.
Done. Okay.
Moving on. Moraine makes it to Kareen's door.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the itch from the chapter title.
Yeah, she's like looking at all the stuff and colors.
These things that she doesn't know, and it drives her crazy that she doesn't know.
Yeah.
So she files away everything she sees and hears so that she can sort things out later.
And she totally has kept it up like throughout her life.
Oh, for sure. That's her job.
Yeah.
So we get a long description of Kareen's room and her warders. And Kareen is here doing her needlework.
Yeah, I do want to point out the one thing that is kind of important is that she notes the painted miniatures of her family.
Oh,
the man, the woman, the kids.
Old, right.
So this is the thing. Families die, but the tower remains. And now we know the age of Aes Sedai of how long they can live.
Yeah. And we get that this woman is a sitter, which means that she's
probably
at least
old.
100.
Yeah. So it's like your family dies, your kids die, your grandkids die before you die because you're going to live literally hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's a good question as to why Aes Sedai typically don't marry or have children.
Oh.
So consider it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like maybe they push them away from that because it is going to be difficult to go through that.
Right. Yeah. Unless your children can become Aes Sedai.
Exactly, which is it doesn't seem like it's a,
a
common
that's not how it works.
So,
because they just don't have them.
Yeah.
So, okay, interesting.
Yes. So think about that.
All right. Now, Moraine hands her the note, and she reads it very quickly. She doesn't show anything on her face, but her warders both stand up and get ready to go.
That's that, like, mind connection thing going on.
Just like they feel her feelings of urgency to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Moraine asks if there's a response.
Yeah, to, like, send back.
Yeah, and Kareen says no, and then she says to her warders, Tamra wants me urgently, but she doesn't say why. So they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Moraine leaves and is, like, pumped that she got this little bit of information.
Yeah. She's super sneaky.
Yeah. And then Moraine goes to find Swan, but Swan is actually also on her way back from a message errand.
Yes.
Because she carried a message to a Grey sister named Aisha.
Yeah, Aisha or Aisha, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then she was also muttering something about urgency.
Yeah, so now we basically have two messages. One to a green, one to a gray.
Also a sitter.
Yeah, and it's really important because both these Aes Sedai tend to adhere to the strictest letter of the law, no matter her own feelings.
Yeah.
So this is where, like, Moraine kind of susses out, like, what's going on with all this stuff. Right?
Okay. So she thinks that Tamra wants, quote, searchers for the Dragon Reborn, and she's keeping it a secret because she doesn't think that the Reds can be trusted, and she thinks, like, how many sisters will at first deny that this child really is the Dragon Reborn?
Because, like, the false dragon thing.
If he isn't discovered until he's a grown man and is already channeling. And then Moraine thinks that she was wrong in thinking that the Dragon Reborn would be brought to the tower because that would expose him to the Reds.
Yes.
So Tamra is planning to send the boy into hiding, and his education will be at the hands of the Searchers.
Yeah, okay,
now,
so
I have to say, this is rather elaborate and probably quite wrong.
I was going to say big asterisk beside this, because Maureen's like, oh, I can suss this out from the two messages.
And she's like, 100% this is what's happening. I know it.
Even Swan's like, oh my god, that's amazing. But it's like,
nah.
That's just what Maureen thinks based on this, and it is probably, like, not... Like, sure, there might be some elements of, like, correctness to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that she's 100% right. She just thinks she is right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Is she, like, close? Is she on the right lines here?
It might have, like, something to do with, like, Guitarra and the foretelling, or the Dragon Reborn, or it might have something to do with that, but it also might have something to do with completely...
Yeah.
Like, different.
It's kind of like a land situation where it's like, oh, the 20 people and then 5 bring him to the place to save him, and then they teach him and raise him to carry on the Malkyr name.
I really don't even think that this... If I...
Like, are you thinking
I'm gonna follow my own intuition here. I think that this is sort of like a funny little trail that RJ wants us to think is happening.
Okay.
As, like, the Moraine being the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Who's 100% this is what's happening. I think that it's probably... something completely different.
Awesome. Okay.
Like, completely. I think a new urgent message.
Yeah.
Like, maybe about the IO war ending, or like...
Could be literally anything.
Anything
it's the Amyrlin,
about
right? So
all of this. I think it's completely... not this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But especially with Tamra sending these notes with Moraine and Swan, it also could be like that's what she wants them to think is happening. It's like Inception, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I have no idea. And the whole, like, she doesn't want him in the hands of the Reds.
Oh,
and it's like, of course, Moraine and Swan, who, like, hate the Reds.
Specifically one Red, too.
Exactly. That's really what it comes down to. And I think that this Tamra, who is, like, all Ajaz and, like, takes that very seriously.
She does seem to, but it's, like, very prejudiced in their thought. You know, and course, sure, there's some truth behind that from what we've seen. Reds aren't necessarily the nicest people to...
Well, to men.
To men.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's a good point.
Yeah, okay. And then the next day, Tamra sends 3 more messages to more sisters. Maelin the White, that's the one who, like, went with Elida,
Is it Maelin or Mylin?
Mylin?
That's the one who was with Elida, yeah.
Yeah. And then a brown sister and a yellow sister.
Yeah, so we've got 5 different Ajahs.
And they're all sitters, and not one of them is a red.
Yes. From what we've seen.
Which seems to confirm things for Moraine.
Yeah, but
because
also, like...
all 3 share the same qualities. Like, they've been here over 100 years. Yeah. And they stick to the rules.
Yeah.
So,
like, there very well might be an Aes Sedai. There should be. You would think that the Aes Sedai, the White Tower, would have a protocol for what happens when we think the Dragon Reborn has been reborn. Like, there's probably, like, don't tell everyone right away.
I know.
Tell the sitters.
Yeah. And it probably does have something to do with the Dragon Reborn, but I think it's way more fun to speculate it has nothing to do with that.
Okay, I like that too.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
It probably does. But
I'm just saying, like, there's probably protocol that they want to follow, so.
Fair.
Yeah.
So now, Moraine and Swan are going to try to keep a watch on the Amyrlin study, because there's, like, this constant flow of visitors.
Yeah, they do for, like, a little bit.
And then the new keeper of the chronicles,
Aeldra,
sure, catches Moraine spying.
Yeah,
being a little peeping Moraine,
like almost immediately.
Yeah. And she's like, I was just watching the sisters because I'm fascinated by Aes Sedai.
Yeah, I'm so.
And then she's like, oh, you're dreaming of the shawl, of course.
Totally,
of course, but cut it out.
Yeah, because if I catch you again, we're gonna have a big problem here.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the first chapter.
That's it. And also, Varen gave Moraine some herbs to help with sleep.
Okay.
I like that Varen's, like, in the background here. Like,
yeah, she's just in the background, and Moraine's having trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
Not because her uncle died, like everyone believes.
Yeah.
But because she keeps dreaming of this crying baby and a man with flashing lightning.
Exactly.
Okay. So, chapter 8 is called Shreds of Serenity.
Yeesh. Yeah. Oh.
We get a chapter symbol of the fish.
Yeah.
And, I just got the chapter title. I mean, like, I read it before and I noted it, but, like, now, like, it just made sense.
Because Elida?
Yeah, just like your reaction, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is that chapter.
This is that.
Okay.
So, we're sticking with Moraine. It seems like it's been a few days.
Yeah, we get some passage of time.
Yeah, because the other Aes Sedai are still riding out every day and taking names, and during all of this time, Moiraine and Swan have been doing their baby name writing.
Yeah.
All of the accepted are supposed to be taking, like, private lessons with Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But since all the accepted are out of the tower right now,
Yeah.
the Aes Sedai are being forced to teach novice lessons.
There's like two things going on here.
And the accepted have to take their private lessons in the evenings. So now, not only are the Aes Sedai teaching stupid novices how to make fire appear in the air.
Yeah, like that's what the accepted are supposed to be doing, the novice classes, and the Aes Sedai are supposed to be the accepted classes, but now the Aes Sedai have to do all this work.
They're doing both, and they hate it.
I don't want to do this work.
And they're like mad at Swan and Moiraine because they're clearly in the tower, so they should be able to teach novice classes and take their classes at normal times, not the evenings. Thank you very much.
But they're like, hey, we got to take down the baby names. We got to find out the most popular baby names of this year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, they're compiling the
What do you think it is? It's a 3-letter word.
It's got too many H's and too many vowels.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's Billy.
Billy. Love it.
Bili.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, there's one in the Two Rivers. Billy
there is.
right?
There is.
And then
there is.
There's one of that she took down.
Awesome.
That's already the most popular name in this book series.
I love it. And false.
Right, because we have the Huon.
Yeah, we did.
2 names.
We did get 2 Huons.
Yeah.
But you know what's really funny is that there was a name I was searching for, a little bit irrelevant but totally related. And I think the most popular name we've seen so far is Jaime.
Jaime.
Jaim.
Jaime.
And with an asterisk, another Jaime spelled Jaem.
Okay.
So here's where it gets interesting.
So that's like the top baby names of
Here we go.
The Third Age.
Jaime. The first Jaime we met, Jaim, was in The Dragon Reborn, and it was Captain Jaime Adara of the Snow Goose. And then in The Shadow Rising, we got a little runner boy in Emond's Field named Jaime Abara.
Jaime Abara!
Which was a cousin of Perrin.
That guy made me cry.
Oh my god, that was Jaime.
I know Jaime, yeah.
And then we got that Lan has one of his sentries that he was like, guys, don't sleep on the job, was named Jaime. And then we also had a Jaime spelled Jaem. That was in The Great Hunt when Moiraine gets attacked on the farm by the Drakkar, and it is Lan and Jaem with an E who yell embrace death and stab the Drakkar.
Oh, the warder.
The warder.
All right.
Jaime may be the most popular name we've seen so far.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Side note. How about that? Good research.
Oh, also, there's another Jaem in a story from Tom about Jaime the Giant Slayer.
Oh,
I gotta say that, so it's good.
Gotta.
Okay.
Why not? All right. Anyway, it seems that a lot of Moiraine's lessons now aren't so much to do with the power anymore because that's all pretty much been taught.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And now it's more like history, literature, philosophy, things like that.
Yeah, all the other stuff.
So we get some of Moiraine's thoughts about the search party for the Dragon Reborn that she thinks is happening.
Yeah.
And she also tries asking about the rumors of how the fighting is going, but the Aes Sedai don't want to freaking talk about it, okay?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how it's written because she gets 3 different answers from the 3 different Aes Sedai, and they're all like, you pay attention to your classes.
Yeah. I'm not here to gossip with some stupid accepted.
Exactly. They already don't want to be here, so.
Yeah. Right. So Moiraine goes through some internal dilemmas of wanting to take the test for her shawl soon so she can get out into the world and search for the boy, but she also doesn't want to do that before she has all the names.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rumors around the accepted quarters about the camps like breaking up and
yeah, and like the
leaving.
fighting's done, the Isle War's like done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some super, super hot accepted named Elid.
Yes.
Elid?
Elid? Yeah, Elid.
It's Elid in the...
Okay.
Yeah, it's Elid.
She's the one we heard of. She's the one who knows she's hot.
Yeah.
There's another one who doesn't know she's hot.
You know what was hilarious? So, Elid is quite vain, and she looks at herself quite a bit.
Okay.
And Moiraine thinks that the only flaw in her features is she has too big of boobs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey.
She's so pretty,
Okay,
whatever.
I got it.
Oh,
I
you
got
have
it.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got to break this down. A gusting evening breeze in the well rippled the waves of golden hair framing her perfect face. Her eyes were like large sapphires, her skin like rich cream. The only fault in her appearance that Moiraine could see was an overabundance of bosom.
Right, overabundance of bosom. Right.
Is that how you say bosom?
Too much bosom.
You know what? I'm cool that Moiraine digs her.
Yeah, Moiraine is really into this chick, except she's not into big boobs.
Apparently not.
No, that's her fault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. But this woman also stares at herself in the mirror a lot.
Oh, she knows it, and it's like, that's cool too.
Yeah. Anyway, Ellen heard that someone else told somebody else told somebody else.
You try that?
That
Adalorna
Guitarra
told
had a
Shemaine that
foretelling.
Guitarra had a foretelling.
Right. Anyway, the foretelling is that Tarmangaiden would come during the lifetimes of sisters now alive.
Yeah, and I mean, that doesn't really matter. And Swan points this out actually like immediately, because it doesn't actually matter, because they already know that.
Yeah.
Because they heard the foretelling, and it's like, that's going to be happening now.
Yeah, of course. The Dragons Reborn to fight in the last battle.
So, like, okay, technically it does matter if there's other foretellings, because that might mean more information. They can really, like, zero in on this stuff. But Swan has a point, and Moiraine both have points, that it doesn't really matter, but it also matters. More information is better than less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side question.
Okay.
Does being able to touch the power make you ageless and let you live for like 200 plus years? Or is it in your Aes Sedai, like, oath taking that you just sort of like get that bonus?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because
go on with this. I kind of see what you're saying.
Could Rand, who touches the power, potentially live 200 years?
Well, when you say 200, why did you say 200? Like,
well, like,
we know 300 is like a
is really old.
Is really old.
200 plus years.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good speculation. Where does the old age come from? Is it so?
Yeah.
Are you saying is it naturally because you're an Aes Sedai and you can channel,
power?
Or is it because of, like, what are you saying, the oath rod?
Yeah, the oath rod,
like the oaths,
like something else that you like get when you become an Aes Sedai.
Okay.
Because we know
then
that they send people away who can channel, even though they can't become Aes Sedai. Do those people live like longer?
That's a good question.
They can touch the power?
Good question.
Or is it a specific Aes Sedai only thing?
Yep. It's like in your health benefits, you get to live an extra 200 years on top of.
And we know that the agelessness comes from working with the power for a long time. Like the face you get.
Sure.
Like you don't, but is that just from being able to channel?
Yeah, that's a good question, because then at some point, like, hypothetically, Rand should be able to... If Rand
doesn't go crazy,
if Rand doesn't go crazy and die like men do, if that didn't happen, would men be the same as women? Or is it like a man versus woman thing where it's like...
Do women get to live for 200 years, but men don't?
Those are very good questions, and I'm excited to see where we land on those.
Ah, shit. You're not going to answer anything for me?
Oh, yeah, I'm answering 0 of those questions.
Okay.
But I have to say, like, gold star just for literally asking those questions.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll give you a little sunshine sticker.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, this is where we get into the good stuff, because Moiraine and Swan have continued their practicing for their testing.
Yeah, the 100 Weaves.
Yeah, and so...
And Morella's helping, too.
And Morella's helping.
Doing their tickling.
Tickling and hanging Moiraine upside down.
It's so funny, because when you were like, oh my god, this probably isn't even at all what the test is like, what are they doing? It kind of seems like it's definitely not what it's like.
It's not.
Yeah.
I think I get at least partial marks.
I gotta say, I love Elida's role in this, because we don't know what the intention is.
Well, especially right now. Like,
even by the end. Like,
yeah,
we'll talk about it.
I think I get what the intention was, but...
Maybe. Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's helping too much here. Like, she's doing too much.
Okay, so yes, we do understand after this that Elida would have gotten in trouble, not for doing what she did, but for helping too much to give them too much insight on what the test looks like.
Yeah.
But my question is why? What's Elida's game plan here? What is going on?
I keep telling you, Elida has all these, like, motives that I'm not upset about.
I'm not either. I'm just saying, like, we don't understand it. And Moiraine and Swan definitely don't understand.
They don't get what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
Because this is when Elida shows up during one of their practicing sessions, and she says, I'm just here to watch you practice. So, like, in other words, abuse my power.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm 100% abusing my Aes Sedai power. I'm going to stand here. Moiraine makes it to the 60-second weave before failing, which I think is quite impressive because Moiraine couldn't do that last time we
Yeah, well,
saw
you know
her.
what Elida thinks.
Pitiful.
Garbage.
This is the worst. You'll never pass like this, and I want you to pass.
You're gonna pass no matter what. I'm gonna make sure you pass. So this is where it's, like, weird. What is her real motive here? Doesn't make sense.
No, it makes me think that she's had some kind of foretelling about Moiraine.
Ooh, and that they must pass and become Aes Sedai?
Yeah, it reminds me
I love
of the
that.
fact
Okay.
that she had a foretelling about something about
Attach yourself to the royal line of Andor.
because something is going to destroy Andor or something,
They're
right?
critical in the last battle, yeah. The royal line of Andor is, like,
critical in the last battle, and so she attached herself to them. And she used that foretelling to inform her entire life's purpose.
But did she do it to the wrong royal line of Andor?
I don't know.
Well, we've talked about this before. We've had this
Oh.
conversation. Because Rand's mother is
Technically
the royal line of Andor.
Oh.
So it's like, are you
Fair,
supposed to
okay.
attach to Rand, or are you supposed to attach to, like, Elaine?
Maybe
or
both.
Galad or Gawain?
Well, she literally did what her foretelling told her to do in the moment. She just did what she thought was best.
Yeah.
And she's not a good person, but I understand her motives.
Yeah.
She's a very just, like, passionate, driven person with limited social skills.
Sure. And she definitely probably isn't a Black Aja. She wants...
No, she's definitely not.
Yeah,
In
you're
my
on that.
opinion,
Yeah,
oh, no.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
she wants the light to
And
win
so
the last battle, so...
impression with this situation
Okay.
is she's locked onto Moiraine/Swan. It might be both of them.
Yeah.
But specifically Moiraine here.
Okay.
Although she does help Swan too.
Yeah, she does the same thing, but it's like Moiraine first.
Moiraine first, because she
Yeah, it's Moiraine perspective, so...
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that there's probably been some kind of foretelling about Moiraine and Swan. And now, fast forward 20 years, we've seen the importance that they've had on the world
yes.
to this point.
Yeah.
And I could see Elida having some kind of foretelling about them.
So it's like, make sure they pass the test, so even if you hate them, which clearly there's not a good
And
relationship...
I don't know if it's hate. I just think that Elida doesn't like anybody? Question mark?
You know what, that's fair.
Like, she just doesn't really know how to be a kind person. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not who she is. She's harsh, she's abrupt, she's not nice, she's out for herself for the mostly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they think it's a targeted attack on them and she hates them, but I think she just, like, mostly hates people.
And she's just getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know what? I like that.
That's
I like that.
like, I'm always gonna sort of stand behind Elida, even though she's kind of the worst.
Okay.
She's
You know what? You do you.
the worst
You do
character
you.
who
Yeah.
I don't hate. Fair?
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Anyway, she steps in here. She abuses Moiraine. She's laying into her. Moiraine only makes it to like the 12th sequence before failing. Moiraine is in some serious pain. Welts, bruises, bleeding.
Yeah, she's just basically taking the lead here and being like, back in my day, we really used to know how to do...
how
yeah.
we practice for our testing.
We were way better back then.
Right, and so now Elida keeps saying, again. Moiraine makes it to 9, then 6, then 3, and then on her 5th attempt, she fails like the first weave, falls
As
to her
soon
knees,
as Elida starts beating her.
weeping openly. She's in so much pain, she can barely stand.
Yeah.
And now that Elida's done with Moiraine, she's like, okay, Swan, you're up. And the same thing happens.
Yes.
And then Elida finally calls it off for the night, and she says, even if you manage to finish, you would still fail. There isn't a shred of serenity in you.
That's the shred of serenity.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or she's shredding their serenity.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
ooh.
Double entendre or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she says, you must be serene, whatever is done to you, and you must be fast. And so tomorrow we will try again because you're not fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, she does, and this is the thing that we're talking about.
I think that this is the cheating part.
Possibly, and this is kind of where it comes. Like, she really is giving them advice on you're not doing what you need to do to pass.
No. But also, when you're, like, in the middle of a triangle where you have no idea what's going on, it's a completely different situation.
It's like there's, game time, like, practice time. So
yeah, exactly.
Practice
and
like you play.
So practicing the sequence of events is important.
Yeah.
Memorize what you're supposed to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. But you know what? There's a big flaw in the strategy of practicing from the beginning because you're going to do the first, 50 weaves way more often than the last 50.
Exactly.
So, technically, if you're going to practice properly, you should start at the end of it. You do the last ones first. You practice the end of it, and you work backwards. So. Or
start at 50.
But, just be aware that your first couple reps are going to be way more.
Because she's only got to the 100th weave twice, and one was by the skin of her teeth.
So it's like, are you telling me you've only practiced the 101th a couple of times or 2 times or 10 times? It's a lot less than the first one. So
exactly, that's actually a very good point.
I know it is. Thank you. Well, aren't all my points good points? I don't know. That's what I thought.
Questionable. Okay. Anyway, so Elida is leaving, and she's like, "I'll be back in the morning to heal you. You have to deal with your pain all night."
Yeah.
So when Elida leaves, Morel goes and gets Sheriam and Elid to help because they don't really know what's actually happened here.
Yeah.
They talk about how the law forbids using power to discipline an initiate, even though apparently it definitely happens all the time.
Yeah, like I said, I technically aren't supposed to do that.
They flick your ear when you're not listening, or
they
tap
do it all
your
the time.
bottom, whatever.
Or just beat you mercilessly. Whatever works.
I think it's
a
little bit different than this specifically.
Yeah, okay.
But Elid says that they should go report it to the Mistress of Novices.
Yeah, but no.
And Maureen says no, because maybe Elida really is trying to help them. Plus, it's probably going to end up worse for them if they tell a sister. They're going to get in more trouble for complaining.
Yeah, it's like when you rat out your superior, it's not going to go well for you if you rat out your manager to your manager's manager. I get where they're coming from.
I just have to say that this is very, very, very reminiscent of anybody who's ever suffered any sort of abuse and hasn't told anybody that that's happened.
Definitely.
Especially in the workplace.
Yes.
Especially in the workplace or in a school setting or with any sort of superior authority.
Or especially if there's a hierarchy of I'm going to use the phrase the boys club because that's my personal experience where it's there's a boys club who works above you and you don't fit in with the boys club. So if you tell on one of the boys, the other boys aren't going to help you because you're not in the club.
Right. And that's your personal experience.
That's my personal experience.
Just with your work, absolutely. But in terms of abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, anything like that, the victim doesn't feel like they can speak out.
Yes.
And an observer from the outside says, this isn't wrong.
This shouldn't be happening.
You have to go tell on them. But it's I'm going to get in more trouble for telling on them.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so that's why it can take years for anyone to come forward about situations that happen.
Yeah, I think it's really well written from both perspectives. It's a very well written sequence here. I like it.
Yeah, it's absolutely and heartbreaking at the same time.
And it's realistic for what might happen.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is realistic.
Where it kind of takes that the third party's going to basically tattle, if you want to call it that, or whatever.
Yeah.
And launch that complaint, and then there is actual follow-up to an extent.
In this particular hierarchy,
it's
it sucks. But hopefully we're going through a movement where superiors can be supportive and believing and understanding and not supporting of the person who's doing the abuse.
Right.
Because here it's well, what did you do to them to make them do that?
She's just trying to help.
Yeah. Hopefully we're, going
well, that's why it's terrible too, because then we get, we'll get to that. We'll get there.
Yeah. So anyway, just a reflection of real life.
Yes. Yeah.
So Elida returns in the morning to heal them, and, she said she would, so here she is, true to her word, but she's also going to return tonight to do the exact same thing.
Yes. And that happens again. Same situation.
Again and again and again. And every time Sheriam, Morel, and Elid come in to help them afterwards.
I gotta say, I like that Elid is she's in there with the group.
Yeah.
She's in there.
Sure. Why?
Well, it's because, like, we know Sherry M, we know Morel, we know Swan, we know
Oh, I
Moraine.
see. This
we
is
don't
just
know
like a
Ella. It's like
random-
another rando that's, like,
Okay.
now inserted into the group.
Sure.
And Moraine kind of digs her, so.
Okay. So, on the morning of Elida's third visit, Marian, the mistress of novices, comes in.
Yeah.
And I have to say, listening to the audiobook, I took note of the pronunciations.
Marian.
So that's just how they do it.
Yeah.
It might not be.
Do what you want.
Here we are, Marian. She shows up to do the healing and says, Elida will not trouble you in this manner again. And Maureen's like, how do you know? And she says, I have my ways.
Yeah, okay.
And she says that Elida nearly earned herself a penance.
Yes, and this is where the whole, like, mortification of the flesh.
But she didn't.
Didn't, but it was
Nearly.
threatening that you're going to have to do a penance of mortification of the flesh. So something like physical
And it's
labor.
because Elida didn't break any laws. She earned a almost penance by helping them cheat for the test.
Yes, so that is interesting
And
news.
she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it's almost cheating.
Yeah, but you mean she didn't get in trouble for, like, beating me?
Yeah, no, that's not against the law. That's cool. We're cool with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loosey-goosey rules. Love it. Okay.
Yeah. So then a few more days pass until they see Elida again, and when they do, she looks pissed.
Yeah.
Clearly, Elida thinks Maureen and Swan must have gone to the Mistress of Novices.
Yes.
And there's this, like, full-blown animosity, and they think that they have acquired an enemy for life.
And they may have.
Yeah, for sure.
So, enemy for life, you say, because I love what Swan says, because she says, whatever, I don't want to be her friend anyways. And then she says, if she ever tries to harm me again, I'll make her pay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I gotta point it out.
Yeah.
Elida
Uh-huh.
maybe comes back in, like, a little while
Maybe.
and then does something to Swan. So, I mean,
like, stills her?
stills her and murders her warder. You know, it's just, you know, it's what happens.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so Elida's done some shitty things.
Enemy for life. Am I right? Okay.
For life. That's what Moraine thinks.
But let's talk about why it's actually Swan and Moraine's fault that happened.
No.
Joking. Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Time for the test.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, oh my god. Wait, no, we gotta talk about this.
Oh, we gotta talk about the new spring.
Yeah, the new spring. The
Yeah.
new spring that's happening.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Okay. So 1 week after the foretelling, the weather has warmed suddenly. Most of the snow melts before the end of the day. And this is where Moraine believes the limit has been set. Like,
Yeah, this is how she comes up with the
because
date for when the DR is, like, born again.
in the
so,
snow.
yeah.
Also, it says that a boy would be born within those 10 days.
Yeah.
But it specifically says 1 week. So this is confirmation. You have said 1 week in this series is 10 days long.
Yep.
This is that official confirmation.
And this is why there's competing information on that. But it's like 10 days is a week. So
This says it.
yeah, there you go.
It says it.
Boom. And then 9 days after the thaw happens,
That's when
when we get the
Yo, Moraine, come with me. You're going for your test.
woo woo. We're doing it.
Here we go.
Not
it's a little
even-
more official than that, but
Not even ending on a cliffhanger. We're just gonna go into it, and we're not even gonna stop there. We're gonna finish it.
you mean like me and you?
Yeah, me and
Right
you.
now?
Usually it'd be like we're done. 2 chapters.
Normally.
This would be like a next time on,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a this time on.
This time.
Okay.
Cool. It begins. Chapter 9.
Yeah.
The symbol is the 6-pointed star.
Start, David.
Not in the symbol though. It looks like a stained glass.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a Star of David.
I know. It's an interesting thing where the way it's described versus how it's
In the
shown.
way it's described, it's 100% a Star of David.
Yeah.
In this chapter symbol, not so much.
Yeah.
It is a...
It's like much fancier.
I mean, like
in
it is. It is a Magen David, but it's stained glass, fancy one.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay.
I forgot how to say her name already.
Marian.
Marian. Marian leads Moraine away for her test, and internally, Moraine is just freaking out. She's like,
I love Maureen's thoughts in
she's
this.
like going through all of the things that are about to happen right now, and my anxiety brain 100%
It's like
sympathizes with Moraine's anxiety brain.
We are spiraling, and it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, except she's like pumping herself up. I'm gonna fail, but it's okay.
It's okay. There's actually some really interesting things in her brain about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna
we gotta
fail.
talk about.
I'm gonna be put out of the tower, but at least I'll still be able to channel.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, maybe I can return to Kyrian and rebuild there.
It's going to take a long time to rebuild the house, but, it'll be fine.
Maybe
I can do that.
I can still make some money,
yeah.
but then also I still have my book of names and I can still search for the Dragon Reborn.
Just go to myself. There's a very important question that I have to ask you here, because Maureen thinks that the sisters say that those who are sent away all but give up touching Saidar for fear of overstepping the tower's strictures, because if you can channel and you go to the tower and then you fail, you flunk out and they send you out, there's like big rules where you can't be like a channeler, you can't do that stuff because we're going to come and get you.
Oh.
Right? That's kind of what's happening. So Moraine thinks that people who leave the tower basically stop channeling because of the fear of being caught by the tower.
Okay.
But we know that people who are gentle and still die from essentially suicide.
Yeah, by not being able to touch it.
By not channeling and not doing that.
For sure. You're telling me that, like, Susie Homemaker, who got kicked out of the tower...
She's, like, never going to channel again?
boiling her pots with the channel?
But that's what I'm saying. Power? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
People, of course, they're going to channel. It's
but they're not, like, calling lightnings and, like, making the weather move their ships faster.
Fair.
Oh, wait.
But even that happens because the Aes Sedai have no clue.
But you're right, the fear thing, they're not doing huge...
Not doing huge things.
Yeah. But they're definitely boiling their water and washing their clothes and...
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, but that's just like it's one of those stories that gets told that's like clearly...
I know.
Not quite true.
No.
Anyways, back to Maureen's crazy brain of, oh my god, I'm going to fail.
Crazy brain. So we get the ritual for the Aes Sedai testing that is not so complex.
Yeah, the accepted test seems more complex a little bit.
A little bit. But that was like the initiation into...
Yes.
Like really moving up a step.
And here it's like you're in, and this one is not so,
I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's still pretty official.
It is. It's not overly she explains
anyway, she has to remain silent until addressed, and Moraine wants to become an Aes Sedai more than anything in the world, but she finds some peace in the fact that either way, pass or fail, she's going to be able to search for the Dragon Reborn in a few days.
I do like this. She's like, either I'm going to be an Aes Sedai and I'm going to search for the boy,
or I'm going to be Moraine and search for the boys.
So
right.
It's great.
So
as long as she doesn't die in the testing.
True, because she didn't even consider that until she gets into the testing. Because she still thinks in her head she's going to just stand in a room.
Yeah.
And weave 100 useless weaves.
Which is weird because...
While Aes Sedai are clapping in her face.
But like you saw...
And tickling her.
You went through the
and hanging her upside down by her ankle.
Like why would they not think that they go through...
That's why I just didn't understand what the fuck they were even doing.
Yeah. Of course it's another Terangrial.
Of course.
Of course it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, she literally thinks she's going to stand in a room. And they're going to clap in her face and hang her from her ankles.
Yeah, I'm going to make funny faces at you until you laugh.
Yeah, oh, so distracted. Okay, whatever. So she's led down to the lowest level of the tower, the basement.
Yeah.
And they make it to a giant room with a domed ceiling, and there's a giant oval ring in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Now, it's a big one.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. And it's super glittery, super cool. Yeah. There's also one Aes Sedai here from each Aja, including Elida.
Ugh, of course she has to be the one for the red.
Now, wasn't Elida there for Egwene and Elaine's
Interesting.
testing?
Why wouldn't she be?
Well, Elida just inserts herself into situations.
Well, and she's, as an Aes Sedai, like, she's not nobody.
No, but, like, you're literally 3 years in Aes Sedai. That's nothing. You're a baby.
Yeah,
the fact that she's included in this seems big.
She likes to get in there.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally her personality, though. Like, she wants to be here for it.
I know that, but it doesn't mean that she gets to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just suits the story that she's here.
True.
But I think realistically, it doesn't fit.
Oh.
It doesn't track.
Ooh, okay.
It doesn't track. Like, a 3-year-old Aes Sedai is not gonna be here.
Yeah.
For this kind of thing.
I get what you're saying. I get it.
Okay. Moving on.
Do you think that it might be by, like, a who wants to be here situation?
Maybe people don't want to do this.
But also keep in mind that the scenarios that we're going to walk into...
Oh, it's like people who know them well.
People who know them well, who can actually influence the scenarios for something that might actually distract them.
And so then are we thinking that the accepted tests are also influenced?
Not saying that they're not.
Okay.
Just saying that they might be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop trying to get information out of me.
I will never stop that.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do the ceremony.
Ceremony starts. Now, we get some more instructions.
Oh my god, you're not even going to, like, talk about what they say? Okay.
No, I'm not. Because there's going to be this sign on the ground, and she draws a 6-pointed star, overlapping triangles, and when you see this sign, you go to it immediately at a steady pace.
Very similar in a lot of ways to the accepted test.
The way back comes but once?
Yeah.
Situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Similar.
Yeah.
So, only then can you embrace Sidar once you reach the sign, then you do your weave, and then you don't leave the sign until the weave's completed, and then you'll see the sign again, and then you go to that one at a steady pace,
and you do it 100 times.
100 freaking times.
So keep in mind here that as Marian is saying these, like, instructions, there's another Aes Sedai, Anaya, who is, like, laying a weave on the back of Moiraine's head to essentially, like, make sure the information they're being given right now is sticking.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah. But that's why when we're talking about, like, protocols, don't say anything unless it's exactly what you're supposed to say. And this happened with the accepted to, like, test too. Is it's very structured on this is what you say, and it's like the last thing that they remember is the way back comes but once.
Yes.
Right? You must be steadfast.
They don't remember anything except for that.
But it's like the last words that are said to you, and then clearly there's something going on with, like, laying the weave on the back of your head to make you remember these rules. And that's why in these scenarios, Moiraine remembers the rules.
Okay.
So there's, like,
that's true, because she doesn't remember anything except for the rules and the weaves.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and also you have to maintain perfect composure.
Totally.
All right. So then all the sisters form a circle around the triangle and they start channeling something very complex.
Yeah.
Moiraine starts undressing.
Gotta get naked.
That's always the rule, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
She realizes that her little book of names is in her thing, and that's just like Egwene.
Just like Egwene, except not a triangle, so almost blows up the machine.
No. She doesn't like almost murder everybody in sight.
Yeah.
Or something.
And herself.
herself.
You know.
But it's like, oh, I have something I don't want people to see, and she clearly cares.
And it's the same thought process of, like, oh my god, I hope the Aes Sedai don't go rummaging through my clothes. Like,
I know.
They're not doing that, man. Like, what are we talking about?
Maybe they are, though.
Do you really think that the Aes Sedai are, like, rummaging through?
Like,
it's like, oh, she's in there. Let's see what's in her belt pouch now.
Yeah, let's check it out. What's she carrying around with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's probably not happening.
No. But Moiraine is also freaking out about having Elaida there to mess with her potentially.
Yes.
And then the air in the opening of the ring turns to like a sheet of white and it's time to go.
Time to go. Let's do this. Okay.
So now Moiraine steps through. The first sequence begins.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how much detail we actually need to get into here.
Not much. We've explained the accepted test in a lot of detail, and there's a lot of similarities.
Well, the accepted tests for both Egwene and Nynaeve that we saw were very reminiscent of parts of them that were important for me to grasp.
Sure.
And also for potential future, or is this dream world? Or, like, there were lots of things there for me to speculate on.
Yeah.
Nothing here is for me to speculate on.
These ones almost seem like, here's 100 scenarios about how to act like an Aes Sedai when you're under pressure.
Can you do it?
Can you do it? Here's 100 scenarios. Because
it reminds me of student teaching.
Yeah.
Like, in my last 2 years of my 5-year university degree, they were like, okay, now you get to go pretend to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch you do it.
Yeah.
Can you handle it in a real life situation? Go.
There's a
like,
very...
It's like medium.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not quite like that, but like...
There's a very real, like, connection between you do something 100 times and you're going to be way better at it than when you first start. And that's why, like, the same way I think about, like, playing a new sport or doing a new job. Like, okay, you don't know how to do this? Cool. Let's get 100 reps. Let's do 100 days of this.
You actually need 10,000 to become an expert in anything.
10,000 hours. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, do an activity 100 times and you are going to know what if this is something you can do. Don't judge yourself until you can do it 100 times.
Fair.
So,
yeah,
that's kind of the way I look at that too. There is a learning curve. It's like, don't expect yourself to be good on the first day.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're like, here's 100 days of crazy scenarios.
Yeah.
And now you're an Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we can discuss sort of what she goes through for the rest of this chapter, and...
Yeah, let's do it fast version, though. Like, we don't need to go super in detail.
No, okay. So, the important thing is that Maureen doesn't know she knows who she is. She doesn't know where she is or why she's there.
Yeah.
Only that she has to remain calm, but her memory's full of holes, and she basically only remembers the stuff that she was, like, told to remember.
Exactly.
So she sees the star, and then there's, like, these 3 men that come out, but she's also completely naked.
Yeah.
Which drives her crazy.
Yeah.
She's, like, blushing. She's very upset. She tries to put on clothes. They disappear.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And, like, the 3 guys are coming towards her now, and she's naked. It's all a big thing.
And then we also get, later on, that the majority of her testing was done naked.
Yeah.
Because that's Maureen's kryptonite. I think that there's a lot of other women in the tower who, like, literally wouldn't blink an eye and wouldn't care.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a cultural thing too, right? Like, would you care? So if you would care, then, like, let's make you uncomfortable here. Because you gotta maintain calm.
Exactly. So it really just comes down to what makes you uncomfortable, what's shaking you, what's making you...
It's like the hypothetical, if an Aiel was here, like, the shame of being naked, it wouldn't matter to Avienda. She wouldn't care.
No, but it's like, let's put in the back of her mind that she just, like, dishonored her friend.
Exactly. It's like, boom, then you've got a real situation where she's going to be thrown off. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why
you gave your friend a flower that represented something wrong.
Oh, no, and it was misunderstood. And then he asked you out.
God.
Okay. So anyways, she does the weave. It works. She, like, captures the men in the wall of air, whatever.
She does. Now I'm confused, because I thought the first weave she was practicing was making a little silver, like a coin out of air.
Yeah, so it seems like she's diverting her weaves and doing 2 things at once here, because we get that a few times.
Okay, so she made the wall and she made a coin?
She's splitting her weaves, because she has to do the weave.
Yeah.
And then she's, like, making the wall of air.
Oh.
And then, because that happens in the other ones, it's like, she's making the weave and then killing Trollocs.
Because, I thought that all of the weaves that she thought were pointless.
Weren't pointless.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then it gets to the last one and it's like, oh no, they're still fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like, manipulate the air into an object. Like, that's what, I thought each one was practicing something,
and it'll be super relevant at the time.
That would be of use.
Yeah.
Like, manipulate the air into this wall.
Yeah.
And then when there's all these spiders attacking her in the next scene, it's like, manipulate fire into something.
Yeah, but that's not quite, it doesn't seem like that's quite what's happening.
That would make more sense.
It looks like Maureen is literally diverting weaves, which is an interesting point because she's strong enough to do that, but for someone who's not strong enough, like a weaker Aes Sedai, you have to weave faster. Like, you might not be able to do your weave
and then weave
and kill all the Trollocs and all that stuff. Like, you might just have to literally focus and do it as fast as possible. So, like, use your strengths, right?
Yeah.
However you gotta do it to survive, that's what you gotta do.
Okay, I think that every one of your testings would just be spiders.
It's all spiders, and I'm failing.
Yeah, and you're also naked.
Oh,
you hate that.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, like...
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Are there other people around?
Right. Yes, there are. Lots of them.
My entire 3rd grade class is there? Oh my god. Okay. Let's go into Brett's repressed memories.
Yeah, what's mine?
You've cooked a meal and the people don't like it.
Oh
no.
Oh my god.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
I've overcooked the food.
Yeah. More recently in my life, heights.
Overcooked chicken?
Fear of falling.
Undercooked fish? Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
I can't remember which one it is. Is it overcooked fish?
Overcooked fish, chicken? Undercooked chicken. Of course that's what it is.
Maybe. Who knows?
Alright. Anyway,
she does this. She does it a couple times.
Yeah.
It's the same pattern. But clearly this is the point, is that the Aes Sedai are, like, creating the scenarios.
Yes.
That comes out later.
We figured that out, but it makes sense now.
Makes sense now. And then she's doing it, so let's go.
And an important note is that when she finishes a weave, she sees this next symbol, the sign again, and she walks to it and then forgets what happened in the last one, except she knows that she did it.
She knows she's completed 2 out of 100 or whatever it is. So.
But she doesn't know why she's all scratched up.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember the thorn bushes and the spiders.
She just remembers, like, I've got this many more. So, yeah. Okay.
But she continues on with scratches.
Yeah.
And bleeding and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So then she moves on to the next. Chapter 10 is
Here we go.
It Finishes.
So I know you're pretty disappointed that we didn't get, like, 100 scenarios here.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, this whole thing where we get Moiraine's testing, but we don't get Swan's is very similar to we get Egwene's testing, but we don't get Elaine's.
Yeah, like RJ knows. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to put you through 2 of these.
Although he did put us through Nynaeve's.
That's fair. But it's like they were a little ways apart.
They were, and knowing their intricacies, I guess, is more important than knowing Elaine's. Yeah.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, she certainly is. She certainly is mashed potatoes.
Okay.
All right. Now, the chapter symbol is 6 mice.
I love it. Because the end. It's the end.
I feel like this chapter symbol should have been for Julian Sanders' figs and mice.
I love it. Okay.
But it wasn't.
It's not.
I don't know what the chapter symbol was for that one, but... All right, so we skip forward in time. We're at the end of the testing. She's made it through 99 weaves, and then we get some examples of what's happened.
Yes. The chapter symbol for figs and mice was the harp.
Oh, the harp, because it was Tom saving them.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Okay.
You are getting fast at looking up, you get like the search function through your notes.
A little bit.
That is impressive.
I'm getting there. That was like real time too.
That was great. That was real time. I was talking and I watched you do it.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the examples of what she's been through so far?
Give me top 3.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So lots of different environments, lots of different positions.
Okay, top 3.
Lots of different animals.
Do you know what top 3 means?
Not really. Okay. Lions, white cloaks, and hanging by her wrists and ankles.
Okay. And give me a bonus.
Snakes.
Snakes, okay. All right. So we're on to the last one.
Yeah, we did. We did 99. Now we're on the 100th.
100th.
We did it. We did it, guys. Okay.
And this one is the most useless of all the weaves.
It was the most emotionally damaging.
I don't know what the rest of the weaves were, but this one seems the most terrible. Or the most useless. Like, it's like a sad rain of confetti as her, like...
No, that's if she does it wrong, isn't it?
No, what?
If she thinks that if I do this one wrong, this was another of the useless weaves, producing only a shower of shining, colorful flecks. Oh, if woven correctly.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the thing.
The next word is incorrectly.
It's like literally a celebration confetti for doing your...
And incorrectly, it's a sunburn.
Incorrectly is a sunburn.
Right. Okay.
But it's like almost like the Ice and I are like, here,
best one for birthday parties.
100. This is number 100. You did it.
That's what it is. Yay. Also, here's your potential, dead mother and father.
Oh my god.
Do you want to go see them one more time?
Which apparently is a lot of fault. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Okay.
So we're on to the last one. Another ridiculously useful weave. She starts it, and as she does, her father walks out, dressed in House Damodred colors.
Yeah.
And he says to her, "You must come with me immediately. It's your mother, child. She's dying. There is just time if you come now."
Yes. Big emotional blow.
And she finishes the weave, which is a colorful shower of glittery confetti. And this is an emotional blow to Moraine. But she doesn't skip a effing beat.
She's hardcore about it.
She is serene as F.
Give my mother my best wishes.
Goodbye.
Beep boop. Goodbye, father. I love
have
you.
no emotions. And this was like literally the transformation.
Maureen gets
Maureen
it.
is coming out the other side, literally a different human.
Oh my goodness.
Except she's still gonna go ahead with a prank. But here we go.
But also, we get the height of Kyrianan.
What does that mean? Should I know what that means? What are you saying?
Well, she describes her father as at...
the height! Oh, like the physical...
The height of the physical height of the Kyrianan.
I thought you were
because Maureen's short.
I thought you were saying, like, the height of the Kyrianan.
Oh, no, I get that. No, I'm talking about the height of the Kyrianan.
Okay, that's why I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because he's tall at 6 feet.
Yeah, an inch shorter than 6 feet? So he tells everybody that he's 6 feet?
Right.
Yeah.
Did
you know that nobody is actually 5'11"? Because if someone's 5'10", they say they're 5'11", and if someone's 5'11", they say they're 6 feet.
Interesting. Do you know how tall I am?
6 feet. Yeah.
I think I'm actually 6 feet.
I think you're actually 6 feet. I know.
I could be shorter though. I don't know. I could be taller. I haven't
Where
do I go to do that?
I don't know. Probably when you got your driver's license.
It's like 20 years ago.
You did not get your driver's license 20 years ago. How old do you think you are?
It's closer to 20 years than it is to like anything else.
No. 16.
15 years ago?
We're going to be 32. It was 16 years ago.
That's close to 20.
That
okay,
actually
I'm not
is
yet
close to 20. That's stupid.
Boom, there you go.
But like, were you at full height at 16? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I barely remember like last week.
Oh, I
I don't know.
remember. I reached full height in grade 8.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
you're 5 feet.
I know, I'm 5
Okay.
feet. Actually, I'm 5 feet and
Sure you are. That's what everybody
3/4
says.
of an inch.
Yeah.
And my driver's license says I'm 5'1", but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
I'm pretty sure I was like that tall around that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should, because it's on your driver's license. So they probably, when you got your driver's license when you moved provinces, they probably measured it.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't
Not
matter.
important.
No,
Anyways.
it actually.
Let's talk about Brett's
None of-
height more. Like,
None
what?
of this is important. All right. Anyway, so she throws confetti at her dead father, and then she says,
The hologram of her dead father. It's
No,
not
no.
actually her dead father.
it's not a hologram. It's in a terrestrial. Like, we don't know. It could be the dream world actual version.
But it's a creation of Elida's,
Yeah,
apparently.
it is.
So, like,
I know.
okay.
Anyway, so she says, I love you, goodbye, and basically walks towards the six-pointed star and just, like, leaves. She steps through, and
Yeah, there
that's
we go.
the end.
She does it.
So Moraine emerges back into the chambers of the White Tower, and she has passed.
Yeah.
Now, let's say,
And everything comes back into her brain.
sure, but here's the thing.
Yes.
When they were practicing,
Yeah.
I said, there's no way this is what the testing is.
Yeah, you're correct. Gold star.
Yeah, but the whole, like, the useless 100 weaves
Yeah,
does play a part.
it does.
And I didn't think it did.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't think it had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So it did have something to do with it. And obviously, when you're standing in a room with your two friends who are tickling you, this is going
Yeah.
to be more difficult. When you're in a world where you can't really remember what's going on and Trollocs are attacking you,
Yeah. Different scenario.
definitely different scenario. So,
But yeah,
anyway.
it's important that Elida did what she did, though, I think.
Yeah.
Because there would be a real possibility of, Moraine and or Swan just, like, not passing.
Yeah.
And we don't know what not passing looks like.
I don't think that Elida physically harming them and berating them and telling them how shitty they are.
Yeah.
Maureen thinks about how it helped her be faster, but I think that Maureen had it in her to be faster when faced with actually deadly scenarios.
Possibly. We'll never know.
Yeah. Or, like, not deadly specifically, but they all seemed pretty bad from what
Yeah.
we heard. But
Yeah.
All right. So, the Mistress of Novices,
Marion.
Marian,
Yeah.
says, "It is done. Let no one ever speak of what has happened here. Moraine, you will spend tonight in prayer and contemplation of the burdens you'll take up tomorrow when you don the shawl of an Aes Sedai."
Yeah. So nobody talks
And
about
Moraine's
what's going
like,
to happen.
holy shit, I passed?
That's it. There you go. You did it.
Oh my god.
But I mean, looking what does failing look like? You either like die, you don't come out.
I don't know
or
if you die. I think that if you fail in one of them, you fail to do the weave, they probably just pull you out of there.
Yeah, they boot you out
it
somehow.
really
so.
seems less dream worldy
Yeah,
than the other one does.
a little bit less. I
Because
get
this
that.
one seems like they're coming up with
Yeah,
the things for you to do in here.
yeah,
It seems a little less dire.
yeah. No, I get that too. So
But I don't know.
it's hard to say because we don't get any more information on that. So, anyways, we're not going to talk about it anymore. We're not going to talk about it.
So all the other sisters come up except for Elida. She leaves too.
Same with Marine. Yeah, they leave.
Yeah. And then Anaya, who we know.
Yeah, we do know Anaya. She's a blue.
Yeah. She asks, do you want healing? Which is nice. She's asking for the consent.
That is nice because Elida was not asking for consent when she was coming in to heal.
No.
Yeah.
And so, and Moraine in 20 years from now also fails to ask people for the consent to heal them.
Yep.
But she's like, oh my god, I passed. And then Anaya is the one who says, yes, you passed. Blushes don't count as breaking your calm.
Yes. And that's when Moraine realizes that, they probably saw everything that happened. So,
which
wow.
seems terrible, but that's why we don't talk about it.
Yes.
So Moraine goes to, get her clothes, and it seems that her little book of names is untouched, which she's happy about.
Obviously.
And Moraine wants to know about the nature of these tests. She's like, the last test was very cruel.
Yeah, she's specifically goading about the whole, hey, that was mean.
Yeah, and Anaya's like, yeah, we don't talk about it even if it's cruel. Oh, it's yellow. Anaya's yellow. You said blue.
No, Anaya's blue, but then the yellow sister who is here.
Oh, I can't
She's
even
the
read
one.
my own notes.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the one who, glares towards the door where Elida just left. Yeah. So then that's why Maureen's like, oh, Elida must have
did
been
that.
like done that, and everyone else knew it.
But also, most of the things that happened were personal to Moraine, so you need people who know her well.
Yeah, totally. And,
I
you know,
get
spiders
it.
is like a good one because like everyone hates spiders.
I mean, like, some people.
Put
People hate
put
spiders.
100 in them in a room with you, and everyone's gonna hate spiders.
Some people like them.
Nope.
I mean, like, not for me. But some people. I mean, I'm not.
Don't even. I don't want anyone to comment. Don't send me pictures. Don't tell me stories. I want zero interaction on this spider comment.
All right. Anaya and Varen take Moraine back above ground. They go back up to the tower, and she goes to the room where her and Swan have been copying names. There's 2 clerks there, so she hurries to the accepted quarters, although it feels kind of weird because tomorrow she's not going to be an accepted anymore.
Yeah, everyone's like immediately gonna treat her different too.
And she finds Sherry-M and Morel,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be asked tomorrow. And then they sort of stand up and do a weird curtsy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh shit, we're not friends anymore.
There's a degree of separation.
At least until they get their shawl, then we can be friends again.
Yes, like there's already a degree of separation. You are on a different level now. And it kind of makes sense. Like it does.
But big news, because
Yep.
Swan
Yes.
was summoned for
She
her
was.
testing.
Yeah.
And here we go. So Maureen gets back to her room to wait for Swan.
Yep.
And she eats a delicious sounding meal.
It's kind of like when Matt got all that food and he was like, I'm not even hungry, but then eats all of it after the healing.
All of it.
His was more extreme because,
yeah,
like,
Dagger was the description of this food, like, I want to make it.
Okay, I will be on board with whatever you make from this book series.
Yeah, I know.
Even if it's like a hunk of dried bread and some cheese.
I know. Well, that's going to be this is a spoiler for you. Because I'm planning on what we're going to eat when we watch the show.
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Just, like,
oh my god. Yeah, I'm so
laptop.
happy about that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, no, I'm not going to spoil it.
I already know. You're making honey cakes. You got it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Ah! It doesn't matter. Spiced wine. I don't know.
No,
Cheese.
chilled wine.
Bread. Chilled wine.
That's my favorite.
Why not both?
Brandy.
We can have, you know how much
brandy.
I'll drink so much brandy. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I want to remember
Oh
the show.
God.
I can have a double take, like a rewatch for the first time. It'll be great. Okay.
But yeah, the food is going to be on point for our personal watch party.
Love it.
All right. We're almost done here.
Yeah, Maureen waits and waits and waits and waits and waits.
And waits and waits. And she tries to read, but she is like freaking exhausted from her entire day and then also from being healed. It's a whole thing, but she manages to stay awake. And then supper comes and goes, and she stays in her room. And I have a very, very, very brief side point to make.
Oh, okay.
That she ate dinner.
Yeah.
And now it's supper time.
Sure.
And I have to tell you that in other parts of the world and Newfoundland, dinner means lunch.
What?
And supper means supper.
What?
Yeah. And that's literally what happens here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you looked it up because you didn't believe me.
Oh, yeah, because this is crazy. You blew my mind here. So what the passage in the book reads is, the hour for supper came and passed. She actually thought she could eat a little something in spite of her huge and late dinner, but she did not go to the dining hall. So yeah, the implication is dinner is the lunch that was huge and she ate all of it.
Yeah.
And then she passed on her supper. But in my mind, supper and dinner are the same thing. It's like
supper.
Supper.
I know that. But I remember because my mom is from Newfoundland and we'd go there as a kid.
Yeah.
And they'd say dinner time or whatever.
Like, but
that was lunchtime.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So dinner means lunch. And that has to be, if it's in Newfoundland, in my mind, a lot of things from Newfoundland are adapted from England.
Yeah.
And like British. So
it's gotta be the same.
I need some European fans to weigh in.
Is dinner lunch?
Dinner's lunch time.
Oh my
Dinner's
goodness.
like your middle of the day meal, and supper is your big meal at the end of the day.
My world has changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, Swan's gonna come back, and her world has changed too.
Not as big as this thing, but
yeah. But fine. I mean, like, it's okay.
It's pretty good
because she comes in, she's passed. They're gonna be raised together.
Yay.
It's a wonderful day. But they don't share information about what happened during each other's tests.
And that's basically something that never happens, is them not sharing information.
And you know what?
So.
If they shared what happened in each other's tests at this point,
yeah,
I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
No,
I think the whole, like, we don't share what happened here today is to protect Moraine's dignity.
Sure, yeah.
Because a bunch of people Moraine doesn't know very well just saw her very, very, very vulnerable.
Yes.
And if Moraine wants to share that vulnerable part of herself with her friend, I don't think that is what is meant here.
Yeah, it's really not that big, but
that's how it's taken.
No,
obviously.
Yeah, I get that. I do really like these books too because we really get to see the bond between Moraine and Swan. It's not something that's talked about in this much detail in the first 5 books, obviously.
At all.
Like, barely at all.
Anything,
we know
it's
they're
almost
working
like
together.
It feels like Moraine doesn't even like Swan because she doesn't even communicate with her in the entire time she's, like, on this journey.
Well, they have to act as if they're, like, apart, but it's like they are clearly, like, BFFs.
That's why Swan is so good at doing that with Lyanna.
Yeah.
Because she's had to do it with, like, Moraine for so long.
It's something you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's amazing, so, okay.
Anyway, okay. So, Moraine suggests that Swan goes to eat, but then Swan's like, nah, I got something better.
Better than dinner, yeah.
Better than supper.
Yeah, better, oh, okay.
Yeah, better than eating.
Okay.
She's got 6 mice.
Not to eat. The mice aren't to eat.
No.
So.
From one of the grooms down in the stables this morning.
Yeah.
And Moraine's like, we're practically Aes Sedai. We can't put mice in somebody's bed.
And then Swan does a little finger guns and she's like, we're not Aes Sedai yet.
One last prank. We're still accepted.
Yeah.
Elaida deserves it.
Oh, no. So it's like they're going to go and put mice in Elida's bed?
Yeah.
So, lifelong animosity, and in like 20 years, you're going to get
it.
Deposed and stilled. So,
hey.
It.
There you are.
There you go.
And Moraine has a warrant out for her, like, arrest and murder.
You're going to be arrested.
And murdered.
It's like those voicemails that I get. Saying, you're going to be arrested.
The Canadian government.
They have your social insurance number.
They want you.
And they're going to be arrested.
You're going to be arrested because you owe $10,000 million in taxes.
Yeah, pay us in Bitcoin, please. Yeah.
Call us now. Pay us in 7-Eleven gift cards.
Yeah. It's like...
It's the CRA.
Don't worry. I gave them the information and I got them off my back, so it's good. Yeah.
All right. That's
you know
it.
What?
That's the end of these chapters. That was fun. I had fun with you.
That was great. Finally, it only took like six seasons, and you finally had fun with me.
No,
I like it.
I'm just saying I didn't expect this to be like as fun.
Yeah, we have fun here. We have fun. We try. That's why we should start every episode with like
8 shots?
2, 3, 4, or 5 shots.
Right.
Whatever.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And now we got Big Brother to watch.
Okay.
Let's go.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. So before you go and pass your testing to become Aes Sedai, but then promptly go put mice in somebody's bed, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, and Jonathan Reese, with music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and the podcast, you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. And for all things The Wheel Weaves, like how to get in contact with us, how to find our social media, how to join our Discord, how to send us really cool shot glasses, and for just general information, you can find us at thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please remember to tell a friend about us, leave that 5-star review, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for sticking around to the end. This is really part of the pattern now.